Yes, welcome to Friday here at Albert Park Circuit. Sam and I here at the track. We've just spent some time chatting to the drivers, which we will play for you a little bit later, but we're just about a minute away from free practice one. Sam and we'll cross the first time we're going to hear the cars in anger for 2012. How are you feeling?
Oh, Ben, look, this is the best moment of the year for me.
Almost.
Maybe my birthday. But yes, we're about to hear the sound of the cars on the track here again at Albert Park. Absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to cut the tension in the air with a knife, Ben.
Absolutely. Now look, the teams, as I said, first time in anger out on the track. Free practice generally, obviously the first one, you don't really get too much from it because the team's just testing out new parts to make sure the car's working ahead of the main ones this weekend. So don't really make too much of the times. We'll have a look at those times obviously after free practice one. But Sam, do you have any predictions for this first free practice session of 2012?
I think the first free practice session, very hard to predict as always. I'll do quite a few installation laps to start with. I don't expect to see much action at all in the first half an hour, especially given that the track is slightly damp, given that there's a bit of rain about here. It's just slightly drizzling as we speak, and so the teams won't want to waste too much of their engines or the cars on work, which is going to be in the wet, given that probably expecting the Grand Prix to drive on Sunday.
Absolutely, and audio-wise you probably can't hear us very well, but in a few minutes you're going to hear a Formula 1 car go past. We're very excited. We're going to now have a look at a bit of action from free practice one here at the Melbourne Grand Prix Circuit, Albert Park 2012, and we'll be back very shortly, Sam, to wrap up free practice one, so stay tuned.
Cars synthetically, they're actually going through that whole process of causing.
Welcome back to the qualifying lap here at the 2012 Australian Grand Prix. Sam and I have just hunched in here into the media centre, and I'm pretty sure you can hear that. It's just on 10 to 4, so we're about 40 minutes away from free practice 2, but it is absolutely bucketing down with rain outside, hence why we're into the media centre. Sam, free practice 1 has been run and done, and Jenson Button on top of the timesheets. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting session, Ben. Some drivers did long laps in the session, some not so many. Kimi Raikkonen springs to mind, only covered 8 laps during the session. We didn't see a lot of him until actually the final 15 minutes of that session.
Exactly, and saw the times up there on the screen a second ago. Lewis Hamilton just popped up into second towards the end. The interesting one, Michael Schumacher was on top for a large majority of that session, finishes in 3rd position. Now, whether that's a true reflective pace of the Mercedes or not remains to be seen. I mean, as you were saying, Red Bulls, we didn't really see a lot of them. You never really get too much from free practice one, can you?
Yeah, that's right, Ben. I think the Red Bull, they look like they're just hanging back a little bit. I expect them to be right up there in qualifying tomorrow. I think they're the ones to beat in qualifying tomorrow and for the race as well. So, but look, encouraging signs for Mercedes because Nico Rosberg, Michael Schumacher's teammate, was up there as well.
Exactly, and the rain is getting louder. We've just had the Formula 4s out on track, and I think they're just behind the safety car as we can see at the moment. It is absolutely pelting down with rain. That is ridiculously loud. I don't even know if you can see that out the window behind us, but this is going to make free practice 2 interesting if it sticks around for 40 minutes, Sam, because this is the last thing that the teams need. They want to get some dry running out there because they haven't really had a clear dry session yet.
Exactly. So you can hear the
F-18 Hornet, I think, having a run.
It's very difficult to hear in here at the moment, and it's flying away. It's probably about 10k away by now. But yes, the teams, I'll be wanting some dry running, but at the moment it really doesn't look like they'll get any. There's a lot of wind out there as well, so we may not see as much activity in the second session at this stage as we saw in the first.
Exactly, the first session started off with a wet track. Now, interesting tomorrow though, we have a 1 hour practice session at 2 o'clock ahead of qualifying, of course, at 5 o'clock. So they're going to hope that it is going to remain dry for that. It is predicted that there is a bit of rain tomorrow, only a 5% chance on Sunday though, so they will obviously be looking ahead to Sunday if they can't get much dry running out there, but it makes it a whole lot difficult to attend, particularly someone like HRT, who we saw Naran Cartacone only get 3 laps out there in that practice session, so they're not really getting much out of the car. The Marussia as well, they've only had a filming day before today, and they got a few laps as we hear it go over us again, and these lower base teams really need those laps, don't they?
Yeah, exactly, Ben, but I think the HRT and Marussia, I think think this weekend, I think they're Jackie was just to get through, or HRT just to get their car up and running.
Exactly. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to leave this now, and we'll come back later on to wrap up the day, back from the hotel, no doubt. And here are a couple of the interviews that we got today, because we got a few interviews today with some of the drivers. Some were a lot more talkative than others. One of the best ones, I think, was Mr. Vettel. Now, Sebastian last year spoke to us. He was quite friendly last year, but he's a bit playful today, Sam. So we'll hear how that went very, very shortly, but we're going to see how free practice 2 goes very shortly. Qualifying lap here live at the 2012 Australian Grand Prix. It is the qualifying lap here at the Grand Prix, wrapping up the first Friday, well, the only Friday at the Australian Grand Prix, Sam. Interesting Friday practice, second practice today. Schumacher ending up on top there ahead of Hulkenberg and Perez. Very interesting times there.
Very interesting result, Ben. Of course, the first half of the session again, just like the qualifying, the first practice session, was also wet as well, and a strange lull in the middle as well, and a lot of activity towards the end of the session. And yes, it was Michael Schumacher coming out on top at the end of free practice 2.
Just saw the times up there on the screen. Of course, Vettel and Webber down there in the middle of the field. Kovalainen in 8th position. Props to him. Fantastic effort by him to get up there as well. Alonso in 4th position, showing a bit of promise there in the Ferrari. Not too sure there, but it's not a lot you can really tell from Friday practice, and they'll be hoping for a dry run in practice 3 tomorrow, Sam.
Yeah, it remains to be seen what happens tomorrow with the weather, Ben. We're expecting a fine day on Sunday. At this stage, it's just a 5% chance of rain, but I'm not sure what the forecast is for tomorrow.
I think there's about a 20% chance of rain at this stage, which will make for interesting qualifying. Of course, free practice 3 is at 2 o'clock, only an hour session tomorrow, and then qualifying hits the track at 5 o'clock. We'll be at the track once again to cover it for you. We'll give you some feedback from free practice 3 as well as qualifying. But what we're going to do now, Sam, is we're just going to hear a few of the interviews that we had today. Now, we're not going to spoil it all by playing all of them for you today, because we want you to tune in on Monday at 2 o'clock to hear all of them. Now, we'll play the main characters we had a chat to. We've got Sebastian Vettel, bit of a word from Fernando Alonso, Felipe Massa, Button, Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo, and also Sir Jackie Stewart, Sam, which was fantastic. Let's just have a listen to those. Sebastian, Ben Waterworth, Edge Radio, mate. How are you feeling ahead of this weekend?
Who are you?
Ben Waterworth, Edge Radio.
Anyone can say that.
Well, do you want to have a look at my pass? I'll show you evidence. How are you feeling ahead of this weekend?
You printed that out yourself?
No, I didn't. It's got a photo and everything. Come on now, you can speak to the security guard behind you. He'll verify it.
How much do you earn?
How much do I earn? A lot less than you.
We know your car's called Abby.
Why is your car called Abby?
This is a nice name.
Can you win this weekend, Fernando?
I don't know.
Can you please finish on the podium?
Hopefully.
Felipe Edge Radio, mate. You confident for a podium this weekend?
I hope so.
What about a win? Go for that one.
You always think about the win.
Jenson, can you win this weekend, mate?
Yes.
Lewis, you confident for the weekend?
Excited.
You're very excited. You think you can win? You think you can win today on the weekend, Lewis?
We'll see.
Daniel, Ben Waterworth, Edge Radio, mate. You're confident ahead of your home fans this weekend, Daniel?
Yeah, having fun, mate. We'll see how we go on track.
Gonna get some points, you reckon?
Hopefully.
Jackie, Ben Waterworth, Edge Radio, mate. Who's your tip for the weekend?
Too early. You got to wait until practice and then qualifying, because it's the first race of the year. It takes about 3 or 4 races to find out who's really on it, which car is going to do the job. But for sure the Red Bull and the McLaren will be really competitive. Who comes up after that, we'll know a little bit more, but probably not until, I don't know, after China.
Working with Lotus, how do you think Kimi's going to go in his first weekend back?
Kimi's he's well prepared for it. He's got a lot of skill, and he's a real racer, even more than Michael. I think he'll come back quite quickly.
I think he's going to do a lot better than Michael then. So podium this weekend possibly for Kimi?
I think that's a bit much to ask. I think it'll take a wee while longer than that.
Fantastic interviews those was, of course, and Jackie Stewart, what a thrill that was.
Oh yes, definitely, Ben. He gave a really good little chat to us there, and what a real gentleman.
Exactly. Well, that wraps up day 2 for the qualifying lap here in Melbourne, Albert Park. We'll be back tomorrow night bringing you the wrap-up from day 3 as well as giving you some tidbits from free practice 3 and qualifying as well. Remember to log on to our website, thequalifyinglap.com, as well as following us on Twitter, twitter.com/qualifyinglap, and keeping tuned here on Facebook and everything as well. Sam, thanks for your time, and we'll see you tomorrow here from the Australian Grand Prix.
Schumacher gewinnt. Michael Schumacher ist Weltmeister.